Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first Unboxable Mandisa video, so happy to have you here. If you're a repeat viewer, thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate your interest and time. So let's get started. Today I'm going to be talking Business 101, how to grow your business. Whether you are a CEO of a side hustle or you're a CEO of a big organization, I'm going to be sharing with you some very good growth strategies that you can start thinking about in terms of growing your business. I will also be discussing various brands, but none of the content is actually sponsored, and that's because I wanted the flexibility of talking about various brands without feeling uncomfortable about it. So I wanted to share their success stories, and I thought that would just put an interesting twist on things. So the 4 growth strategies that we will be exploring today, here they come. Share of wallet, new customers, new products and services, as well as new market. So share of wallet is when you are trying to get more money per customer. So that's when basically you're not really trying to grow your number of customers, but you're trying to make more money per single customer. So let's say you get $5 from each customer at each purchasing point. You want to stretch that to $7. The easiest way, of course, is to increase the product to $7 but please don't be tempted to do that unless you can articulate value, unless you can offer something more to justify why you've increased the price from $5 to $7. Fast-moving consumer goods like Unilever do this very well. So they are able to get more money per customer because they have a portfolio of different brands. They offer spices, beauty products, as well as home detergents. So I'm going to make an example of my recent trip to the supermarket where I had planned to buy dishwashing liquid, and what they did is offer a value pack. So that tempted me to actually buy more than the dishwashing liquid. I ended up buying the bleach, and that's how they were able to get more money from me. Let's say you only have one product. Another strategy that I would encourage you to do if you are trying to get more money per customer and increase the share of wallet is do a strategy where you can buy loyalty upfront. What they do is that they know people, so if they're releasing 12 issues a year, they try to get people to annually subscribe, to pay a subscription, so that they know that if somebody goes through a very difficult time, they may pass on not buying the magazine for that month. But if you have loyalty upfront, then you are guaranteed in terms of the 12 purchases. If you're not Unilever and you can't bundle two products in one, and if you're not a magazine, you can't get upfront loyalty from people, what else you can do? What I'd encourage you to do to still get more money by customer is to try and find a way if your product can be consumed more frequently, so you increase the occasions of consumption. Let's think about the milk industry as well as the sugar industry. So over a period of time, they have managed to get more money per customer by increasing the frequency of purchase. Long time ago, you would drink milk, but nowadays you can bake with milk, you can add it to your coffee and tea, and you can enjoy it as hot chocolate. So you can see now how one product can be consumed more frequently. And more frequently you consume the product, the more money it is for the person who's giving it to you. So the second growth path that I'll be talking about is when you are trying to get new customers. So that's an exciting growth part because that means obviously you're increasing your clientele or customer base. The easiest way, or one of the quickest way, is to steal current client from your competitor. But you also have to have something called a competitive edge, something that you do better than everybody else, at a more reasonable price. That's what a competitive edge is, when people see more value in what you do and they think you do it really well and the pricing is not that bad. So that's how you can steal your clients from a competitor. One way to also have new customers or new clients is when you encourage your current loyal customers or your existing clients to obviously share positive feedback about your product. So you encourage word of mouth, and you can do that especially online. You know, word of mouth is still one of the most powerful form of advertisement. So what I encourage you to do is have a way for people to share reviews about your product online, because that just sends psychologically, that sends a message to everybody else that your product is safe and it's worth trying, and that's what you need. Obviously, another way you can try and get new customers is to aggressively market. So you have to have an aggressive marketing strategy, and if you can also increase the way people consume your product, so whether it's online or through brick and mortar shop. So if people can have two channels of actually receiving your product, then all the better. And make sure that when people are engaging with your brand, so make it a pleasant experience. Try to take out any pain points and any problems that when somebody wants to give you money or offer you business, it's quick, simple, and efficient. So really think about the client experience. What is it about your business that makes it easy for people to deal with you? So the third way to grow your business is when you start offering new products and services. So there's something called a brand line extension or a sub-brand. So your brand is now very popular, people really trust it. So it gives you a safe space to actually increase your product portfolio. So one company that comes to mind when I think about this is that it's the Dettol brand. So when I was growing up, we used to use the Dettol disinfectant, but over time now, what we use is hand sanitizers, we have soaps, we have liquid hand wash, and as well as surface cleaners. You can see, as with the passing of time, when people trust your brand, they are more susceptible to actually trying other products that you may introduce down the line. So use that to your advantage as well, is to offer similar brands of your product. This is different than acquiring a new business, so don't get them confused, okay? So let's do a recap. 1, you increase a share of wallet. 2, you actually start trying to get new customers, as well as 3, you introduce new products and services. Which brings us to our final growth path, and it's actually one of also the most exciting one, because it's risky yet rewarding, and that's new markets. What new market means is that you have done so well in your home country that you are thinking now of going beyond borders into a new country. So believe it or not, this is risky, but it is also very rewarding, and you now think you have a global appeal. I'm going to talk about a recent experience I had where I visited the Coca-Cola museum in Atlanta, Georgia. This is in the USA, and it was such a fascinating experience because I got to try out all these different sodas. Here in South Africa, we call it cool drink. And it was such an enriching experience because as I was trying out the different sodas from the different part of the world, such as Latin America, Europe, and I noticed the European brands has less sugar, as well as obviously South African brands, Asia and North America. There were people from all over the world that were at this museum also trying out the different sodas. And I recall that there was an Asian visitor, and when he tried my Stony Ginger beer, which is my favorite soda here in South Africa, it's sold here in South Africa, he had a yuck expression. So he didn't really like the taste of Stony Ginger beer. And I also remember that when I was trying the Asian brand, it tasted like Coca-Cola and soy. So I had the exact same expression that he had with me. What that really teaches us is that when you're going into a new country, you have to adapt your product to that country's preferences and palate. Otherwise it won't work. Unless you are KFC's 11 secret spices, then maybe you can have something that you can copy and paste and it will still work around the world. Otherwise, if not, then just really try to learn what would work in that country. I'm just going to wrap up now in terms of this very aggressive growth strategy. I need to just make you aware of how prepared you have to be when you charter onto new territories. You have to really have a good understanding of this new country. So you have to have a market entry strategy. So research your competitors, the competitors that you'll face in this country. You also have to ask yourself, is their currency profitable? Do the buyers in that country have enough purchasing power? So if you're, example, a luxury brand, would people still buy your product if it's a third world country? Are there enough high net worth individuals to actually support your business? And we know that once you become a very successful business is that you will face the threat of substitutes. So those are people that will start introducing fakes, your brand fakes, because maybe it reaches an aspirational level. Logistics are also important to consider. You know, if it's a tangible product, they're exporting. Then there are three factors that are intertwined that I'll just explain in one. That's the economy, the politics, as well as the corruption level. So you need to understand those factors and how much they will impact your business. It's also a good thing if the country has a good legal system, because we know that a poor legal system makes it less safe for you and your business to thrive. Last but not least is the culture and environmental social trends. So no prize for guessing that you have to be mindful of those dynamics in that country. By now, if you are thinking on going into new territories, you probably have a very good set of people or employees that have great talent. You probably have a good operational efficiency model like Amazon, and you are thinking of taking those skills into the new country. What I'd encourage you to do is employ locally as well, because you want to make sure that you have a diverse working force. So have a mix of local as well as people that you're bringing in from your own country. I live in South Africa and have heard of many successful South African companies who try to go into the rest of the continent, and they like the Nigerian market because that's one of the most populated countries in Africa, and many of them dismally fail, and that's because they don't really understand the lay of the land. So if you're going into a new country, do your homework, make sure your product can be easily consumed by this new market. I'll leave it there for now. I hope you found my video insightful. If you want to pick my brain and want to understand further on the 4 growth strategies that I've shared today, please feel free to write to me. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video where I will talk about my experience in living and working in New York. So I hope you enjoyed that. That will be coming up soon. So stay tuned and don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe to my video as always. Cheers, until next time. Bye.